David, your junior year of college, you decided to go into door-to-door sales selling pest control. Within your first 12 weeks, you made over $42,000. Today, you're one of the top life insurance agents at All-Star Life Group, making over $500,000 personally and running a team doing $200,000 a month. What was the initial decision to go into door-to-door sales your junior year of college?
It's a great question, man. I'm glad that you've done the digging. So it was actually it was the summer going into my junior year of college. So it was the end of my sophomore year. I got introduced to door-to-door sales, and that summer genuinely changed my life. It changed the entire trajectory of my career, life, everything, honestly. So when I first went to college, I wanted to be a physical therapist, and very, very soon I realized that's not what I actually wanted to do. And I think just me being around my friends, people that I would interact with are like, dude, have you ever tried any sales? Have you ever thought about business? I was like, no, I haven't, dude. And they're like, you really need to. And I was at a fraternity meeting in March. So it was there's 2 months left of my sophomore year going into my junior year. And I show up to a fraternity meeting. These two guys walk in, and they're probably 28, 29. They look well put together. They got the fancy suit, they got the watch. And I'm like, okay, who are these guys? They're not that much older than me. And they start talking about knocking on random doors selling pest control. And it's I'm like something ain't adding up here, but I'm listening to what they're saying and I want to know more. And they're talking about, our average guy is going to make 20 grand his first summer and all this. And at the time, I'm a server at a restaurant back home making 5-6K for an entire summer. That's what normal college kids do. And I'm just listening to them and I'm like, I need to know more. That was just my initial thought, was I need to know more. I need to pick their brain and ask questions. And so, yeah, long story short, I picked their brain. I signed on to go knock on doors, and it went even better than I expected. I did make 42,000 after 12 weeks of knocking. And, as a college kid, that's a lot of money, when you really put it into perspective. And that just changed it wasn't even the money. I'm just so grateful I had that experience when I was 20 years old, knocking on random doors. You get rejected a ton. And I feel it's really paved the way for my entire career now. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that is a lot of money. I think even for anyone, a lot of people make that as a yearly salary. So the fact that you made that at 20 in just 12 weeks as a rookie in the game is absolutely incredible. But I'm curious, let's go a little bit deeper into that. Making $42,000 in your first 12 weeks selling door to door, how did that change your perception of what a normal life was?
It changed everything. I couldn't look at anything the same. Any job ever, any business, I was like, okay, well, how do these guys make money? That was my thought. When anybody, any business model, I'm like, okay, well, who's making money? How much do they make? And for me personally, I was like, I'm never going back to a salary-based job or an hourly-based job. I can't. I literally couldn't do it. I would be the worst hourly position out there because I worked at the front desk at our college and I was terrible. I'd show up right in the nick of time. I would leave early, cause I'm getting paid hourly. There's no incentive for me to do better. I just have to do enough to not get fired. I'm gonna be honest,
yeah.
And it just never made sense to me that, hey, if I'm more competent and I can bring more revenue on for whatever company or business, then why don't I get paid what I'm worth? So, yeah, it changed my entire perspective on everything.
Sorry for interrupting. Really quickly, I have a favor to ask though. 97% of you aren't actually subscribed to the podcast who listen on a regular basis. It's completely free to do so, and it really helps us continue to grow, improve our production, and ultimately get on bigger guests with time. So if you're enjoying the show today, please hit the subscribe button. It helps us out more than you know, and let's get back into the episode.
I'm curious, as a 20-year-old college kid, what was your first day in door-to-door like?
First day was super scary. You do all the training in the world. We would role play. I had a couple buddies from college that went out with me to go knock. And I still remember sitting in my fraternity house. We lived in the basement and we had these we had these rooms that were super narrow, and both beds were on the same side with a divider in the middle. And I remember we'd stand in our tiny little hallway, and we'd have like our scripts that we were trying to memorize, and one person would be the client and the other person would be the salesman, and we're just role playing, and we're like giving objections. I am not interested. Hey, like, quit knocking my door. No soliciting. I don't have any bugs. Like, we're giving like these common, we call them smoke screens, right? And the other person would just practice overcoming it. And you do all this training. I did it for like 8 weeks until like May 17th, we finally went out. And then like all that goes out the window and you knock on your door and you're like, what am I doing here? Like, what's going on? Like, it's just so surreal, like actually thinking about going and knocking on someone's door, and pitching them, you know? It was crazy. That first day was like, it was like the hardest day of my life. Like mentally, like just being able to cope with like what you're actually doing was like one of the toughest things. I did make 2 sales though, but
really,
on your first day.
But there was like, they were lay downs though, like absolute lay downs. I'm not gonna lie. And I didn't know what I was doing. And I remember just calling my boss at the time. I remember just calling him in. I'd be in the backyard and they'd ask, I'm like, hey, just give me a second. Like, I'm going to call my manager. And I'd call him. And then like Mike was his name. He would like kind of help me close it. So like I did close it, but Mike was on the phone like helping, because I had no idea what I was doing at the time.
That's amazing, man. I couldn't imagine. I've never done any door-to-door sales. Me and Colton both work in sales now, but just remotely. I'm sure that'd be terrifying. So I'm curious, early on, how did you deal with the rejections? I'm sure you got doors slammed on your face. I'm sure you probably wanted to quit almost every single day. So how did you manage that early on?
That's a great question. And that's the number one reason why people don't make door-to-door sales work. They don't make life insurance work, is because the best salesmen still get rejected, like 96, 90. If you really take it as a numbers game, like on the doors, if you talk to 100 people and you sell like 4 or 5, like that's pretty dang good. Like you're making a lot of money, but that means you also get rejected 95 to 96% of the time. And that is why people are so afraid to even try the opportunity. And 2, the guys who do it fail out. That's the number one most common reason. And the way I dealt with it was just having a big why. So like, yeah, it sucks. Like I don't like getting rejected, but I could get rejected like 500 times in a row and not make a sale. But my why, the reason that I do what I do, is so deep that it's always going to keep me going. Like there's nothing that was going to stop me. So I think some people have the mentality of, and still to this day, if I do a recruiting call with someone and they say something like, yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. Like I'm going to try it out. Like those are people that it's like, hey, you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you're not all the way in, and you will get rejected way too much in this job. And it sounds like you don't have a why that's deep enough to keep you going. So like right now, something either needs to change. You need to find a deeper why and burn the boats, right? Or you should just not do this at all. Because it's like, I've been in the game for a while. I know how it's going to go. I've seen so many people come in and fall out. And I've seen people come in and stay. And like there's common denominators in all the people that leave. And it's they can't handle the rejection and their why is not big enough.
So speaking of why, what was your why to stay in door-to-door sales?
Yeah, I wrote it down in my notes on my phone. But whenever I took the opportunity, so going back to what I first said, I was in the fraternity and there's over 100 guys in my fraternity. And we're all 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I guess, seniors. And it blew my mind how many of the guys did not take the opportunity or want to learn more. So they gave a little speech and they're like, hey, 2 days from now, we're going to be at the library. If you want more information, come. We'll break everything down. And I figured like a lot of us would go, right? Most people didn't. And that blew my mind. But what I came to realize is most people are too scared to actually take the opportunity. And then when they see someone else like me actually have the balls to like go and take the opportunity, it attacks their ego. And then they push that onto you. So whenever I decided to do this, it was actually crazy how many of my friends and family don't do that. why would you do that? That's a scam. That's a pyramid scheme. No, why would you do that? You know, it's like just trying to bring you down. So for me, because I have like an unlimited amount of self-belief, I was like, this is gonna work. I've never knocked doors before, but I'm gonna make this work, and I'm gonna show everyone that I'm gonna make this work. And I had one specific college friend. He doubted me so much, and he's like, hey, if you make 25K this summer, I'll come do it next summer. And then I still remember I made 42 grand. I came back and I'm like, hey, I did way more than 25K. He's like, yeah, I just can't do it though. You know? And for me though, at the time it was funny, but that's really what it was like so many people just doubting and me just having like an insane amount of self-belief. And for me, that was a big enough why. And then that's changed over the years now that, you know, I'm doing well. Obviously people, you know, don't doubt that anymore. But for me now, it's I just got off the phone with my mom yesterday, and I'm gonna retire my mom because she still has like 6 to 7 years left working. And I was like, Mom, we're gonna get that shortened real fast. Like, how much money do you need every month to come in for you to like comfortably retire? You know. And like they're doing fine, but I just want to make sure, because we talked about it. I was like, yeah, when you do retire, you want to like enjoy retirement though, right? You don't want to be penny pinching or like feel like you can't go on this vacation or you can't go to the store and buy this, that, whatever. So like I'm just gonna help them out, you know.
Man, that's absolutely amazing. And congratulations to you, man. I think a lot of motivated young men, that is kind of their core goal. I know Colton and I both, like a huge goal of ours is to retire our parents. I think a lot of men kind of face that. So congratulations to you before I go any further. That's amazing. But going back to that kind of, you know, earlier stages, it sounds like you dealt with a lot of doubters from friends and family. So I'm curious, was that really difficult in the beginning to have these people that were close to you doubt your ability?
No, I've always been I've always been fine with just me, myself, honestly. Like I have a ton of friends, a ton of people I care and love for and family, but I'm also totally fine by myself, isolated. I just have a lot of confidence in myself. Like I'll figure it out, no matter the situation, no matter how bad it gets. Like as long as I have me, myself, like I'll be fine, you know. And honestly, I kind of just used all of that to channel into my why. So like I kind of liked it in a way, you know. Like if everyone was telling me it was going to be easy and you were going to go to do so well, and you should do it. You're going to make a lot of money. I feel like it kind of would have hurt me in a way. So I'm kind of grateful for it all, you know, honestly.
I'm curious, as a 20-year-old college kid, you seem to already had that mindset of going all in. You were surprised that no other college kids were going to meet these guys to go into door to door. Where do you think that mindset stems from? Were you always someone who was confident in yourself and went all in?
Yeah, I think, well, one, I need to give glory to God first and foremost, because I mean, he's blessed me with all of the abilities that I have, the work ethic that I have, the belief. Like, I mean, we can't do anything without God. And then second, I would say like my family, like my parents. Like, why do I want to retire my parents? Because, dude, I think a lot of people our age, like I know you guys are 24, 22. Like a lot of people our age, we feel like we don't need to give back to our families, or some people do. But I view it as like, dude, our parents, like my parents did everything for me. They raised me, they put food on the table for me, they put a roof over my head, they put clothes on my back, they taught me right and wrong. Like they did everything for me. Like, and if I feel like for 18 years they did all of that and I don't feel like I owe them anything, or like I don't have a duty to help them out, like that just doesn't make sense to me. Like yeah, you helped me for 18 years, you were amazing parents, you did this, you did that, you did and everything, but now I'm just going to use all my money on myself and not help you guys enjoy retirement. Like that just blows my mind, you know? So.
Yeah. Very interesting, man. It seems like you have your why pretty locked in, and I applaud you for that. Going back, obviously we talked about you had a lot of doubters and stuff, but I'm sure you had a couple guys in your corner. Obviously, people helped you train before you actually started hitting the doors. You had managers who were helping you learn sales in the beginning. So I'm curious, how important was it to have those people help you in the early stages of your door-to-door sales career?
Dude, it's massive. I think culture in like a 1099 sales position, same with life insurance and door-to-door, to have the group of guys that you have, they're like your ride or dies, you know. And I think when you do stuff that's tough together, or like you struggle together as a group, it really builds like a bond and a connection between everyone, right? And I'll compare it to sports. I know most guys have played a type of sport. So I did cross country growing up, and like it was tough. Like we were really, really good. Our coach was really, really hard on us. Like we trained really hard. I remember we'd run like 8 to 12 miles, somewhere in that range, like every single day. Like every day we were running a long distance. And I remember like nobody really likes to run. In my opinion, I don't like running, but I did it because I was good at it. But you have like a mutual respect for everyone that does it with you, right? Because everyone is going through the same thing, like in it, and we all know what it actually takes to do well. So I think when you have a group of guys like knocking doors, and you know the guy to the left and the guy to the right of you is also going out and knocking 150, 200 doors a day out in the heat, getting rejected all the time, like that's something special that most people don't have. Like it's different than like a college friendship where you guys just go get hammered on the weekend and you just watch some sports together. Like that's a more chill friendship. But I think to answer your question, like having all the guys there with you and guys who have done it for multiple years that you can look up to, that are willing to pour into you and train you, is the most important thing. Like the culture, like are the guys going to be negative? Are they good at selling? Can they teach you? You know, are they showing up on time? Like all of that is like the most important thing. And I did have that, and I was super grateful to have all those guys around me.
Your first year in door-to-door, you probably knocked on over 100 doors. What was the most important thing you learned about human beings while trying to sell them?
They lie a lot. Yeah. No, genuinely. Like humans lie all the time because they're afraid of confrontation. So they lie about the reason they're not doing things, right? So you guys all know that friend that you have that for whatever reason likes to fade certain things. Like you're like, hey bro, like this is going on Saturday, like you should come. Yeah, maybe I'll let you know. That guy never shows up. Like we all know that.
Yeah.
You know, but why doesn't he just say no? And it's because people are afraid of like confrontation. And so what I learned, especially when people are, and it's fine. I do the same thing. If I walk, into Walmart and there's some dude trying to sell me lemonade, like you try to fade it. I'm busy, dude. I'm in a rush. It's the same thing on the doors. Is people, what I learned, will tell you anything, and that's why we call them smoke screens, to get you off their door. And so I've gotten really, really good from doing it thousands and thousands of times, of identifying someone's actual like objection or their actual reason for not buying, or for their reason to not go do this or go do that. I've just seen it so many times, and I can tell off of body expressions, eye contact, the tonality in the client's voice, what they say, how it, how they move, their posture, like everything. You can tell what they actually want, So I think that's what I've learned the most off of knocking.
Yeah, very interesting. So obviously you did door-to-door sales for 3 years, and you were in Louisiana, is that right? I think you told me.
Yeah, dude, I was all over, man. I was a nomad. I started in St. Louis, Missouri, and then I did a summer in Cincinnati, Ohio, and then back to my hometown. And then in Springfield, Missouri, when I went to college, I knocked for a little bit, and then I went to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so you were everywhere, which is very interesting, and you did that for 3 years, but I understand you ended up packing up you saw an opportunity in life insurance and you ended up moving across the country to Austin, Texas. So I want to go a little bit deeper into the decision behind switching from door to door to, life insurance, and then the big move to a brand new city.
Yeah, that's a great question, because it was a move like that. And I'd been planning it for a while. So as much as I give credit to the doors and very grateful for the opportunity and the experience that I have, it's not the best opportunity out there to grow a business and make money. It's not. Like, it's pretty simple. With that being said, once again, I tell people I would never go back and do it again, knocking doors, but I'm very grateful that I did it. So I had the 3 years of experience. I'm like, okay, I know how to sell. I understand how different business models work. 1099, you can grow, you can become a manager, make overrides, how to manage expenses, everything like that. But I need a different avenue, right? But all I knew was knocking doors. So I continued to knock doors. But in the meantime, I'd heard of life insurance. I was aware of the industry, and I had a good buddy of mine from college that I did trust. I trusted his judgment. He's a good salesman. He knocked doors as well. He starts doing life insurance, and I'm like, perfect. I'm going to see how it goes for him. I'm going to be in contact with him his first couple months. So I was talking to him for a while, and I specifically remember planning on getting out of door to door to go into life insurance, because he was showing me the bank statements. He was showing me proof of income. He was showing me the lifestyle. He was breaking the entire business down, and it was starting to make a lot of sense to me. And then one specific day, I was knocking in Baton Rouge, and it was really hot, and I was having a bad day, and he FaceTimes me, and it's like noon. And he FaceTimes me, and he's sitting in his recliner and his couch, and he's got his computer. And meanwhile, I'm knocking, I'm sweating, it's hot, and he's sitting in his recliner, and he turns his camera around, and he's got his computer propped up and the TV behind it, and he's got like music, like a YouTube video on, and he's like, hey bro, I just sold this guy, I'm gonna make $3,000 on that one deal. And I'm like whoa, and I like stopped, and I'm like, are you like, you made $3,000, it's noon. He's like, you made $3,000? He was like, yeah, I just sold this guy, it was like a $350 a month. It's like super solid deal. It's starting next week, I'm gonna get paid $3,000. And I'd been talking to him for months. And that phone call, I was like, all right, I'm done with door to door. We're going to figure this out. And I packed up all my stuff. I had window cleaning equipment that I had bought. And I had like workers that were actually go do the service. And I had an Airbnb that I had booked that I was still supposed to be there for another 4 weeks. And I told everyone, I'm like, hey, we're done. I called the Airbnb. I'm like, hey, we're moving. Like, I'm out of here. Like, you can do what you got to do, but I'm leaving early. And I pack up all my stuff. And I drive 8 hours home to Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and I'm on the phone with him for a majority of the time. I'm talking to his manager, Ronnie, who's now my roommate here in Austin, Texas, and I'm just learning more about it. I schedule my exam, because if you sell life insurance, you need a life insurance license. So I schedule my exam. When I make it home, I'm studying. I remember going to the library we have in my small hometown. And I just remember studying, and then I'd hop on the Zoom and listen to the guys make calls. And I was just like a sponge, man. That's just how I am. I want to learn as much as humanly possible. I hate not being good or not knowing how to do something. Like, it really bothers me. So I was just trying to learn as much as I possibly could. And I'm studying. I passed my exam, and I'm in Cape Girardeau, my hometown. And then I drive 4 hours to go move in with the guy that was telling me all about this. So that was the other thing I forgot to mention. So his name's Kale, and he's the one I'm in contact with. He's the one telling me how life insurance is going. I'm like, hey, bro, if I do this with you, I hope you know I'm moving in with you. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to move in. I'm going to live with you if I do this. Because I knew where he lived. It was in our college town, and he had an empty room. It's a 3-bedroom, and there's 2 of them. So I knew he had another room. I'm like, hey, I'm going to move into that empty room, okay? I hope you're good with that. And he's like, yeah, it's cool. So I ended up moving in with him. And then, I just sat down. He taught me everything. I just was learning from him. And then, this was 15 months ago, February 2025. I started selling. Just never took my foot off the gas. And then, yeah, that was the journey from doors to the life insurance.
You mentioned being a sponge and just hated being bad at something. From going to door to life insurance, what was the hardest thing in the transition?
Dude, that's a great question. So for me, I understood that it was going to be a numbers game. Like, the doors are a numbers game, dude. Like, the guys who sell the most, they knock the most doors, and they talk to more people, and they talk to more qualified buyers, and they make more presentations, and they close more people. So through the reps, you get better. Like, just like a sport. You know, I love to compare it to sports, you know? So for life insurance, I honestly, dude, did not have any issue at all selling, because I understood how everything worked. I memorized the script. I was training every single day. I was making calls for Kale. So there's a phase where you have to get contracted, which takes like a week to 2 weeks, where it's basically all the insurance carriers, they're reviewing your license and then approve you to work with them. So during that week is when I did a lot of training, and I would sit right next to Kale and I would call for him. So I was like his dialer. So I'd have his leads and I would call for him, and I would do like the intro, and I was like live transferring. So I was like training so much that by the time I actually hit the phones, like it kind of just naturally clicked for me. So honestly, the transition was nice and easy, and it's way more scalable than door to door. So I love everything about the business, man. I really have no issues with it.
Man, that's amazing. And Colton kind of touched on it, but I'm curious more specifically about your skill set, because you went from knocking doors, staring another person in their doorstep in the eyes, to going and dialing phones from a bedroom. So how did that kind of skill set change? Because it is kind of different being face to face versus virtually.
It is, and that's a good point. And one thing that I learned from the doors is we would record our pitches, and then at night you'd go back and you would listen to it, right? And so you could hear the client. You can mainly just hear yourself, though, because doors, if you get too close to someone on their door, then it's weird. So like on the doors, there's always like a gap. We'd say 6 feet, especially at the doorstep of someone. So sometimes it was harder to hear the actual client. But the one thing that I realized with door to door is what you say, like the actual words that come out of your mouth, is like, there's all these studies that say 7% effective sales or 14%, like who knows. What I do know that is that your tonality, so how you say what you say, is way more important than what you actually say, right? Because you can say the same sentence twice, but depending on your tonality, it can either be a question or it can be a command, depending on your tonality.
Yeah.
You know? So what I learned in life insurance was like, hey, these people like literally cannot see you. It's gonna all be tonality. And I would record myself all the time, right? And I would listen to myself back. And that's the most effective way to actually train any new guy. If you want to get as good as possible at selling over the phone, you just need to record your conversations and then be super critical of yourself, right? What most people don't like to actually take the time to listen to the recording, because if you guys notice, like if you ever listen to yourself, sometimes you're like over critical of yourself, right? Like we all are insecure when we look in the mirror about certain things, right? So like, oh, I sound weird when I listen. Oh, I look weird. Oh, so people literally are too like lazy or insecure to actually take the time to listen to themselves. But I wasn't, so I did it. And I was like, wow, David, you need to work on this. Like your tonality sucked right there. Like get better there. You were talking too fast right there. You need to slow down. This objection you need to handle better, right? Because over the phone, to answer the question, like they cannot see you. So you need to be very good. You need to have a calming presence, but also be very professional and trustworthy. Those are the three things. Those are the only three things that need to come across whenever you're talking to someone, right? They need to feel at ease, right? So you need to have a calming tonality, but you also have to be trustworthy and professional, right? Because you do, obviously, to sell life insurance, you do have to get personal information from them, right?
Yeah.
But you're not here to scam them, so I don't feel bad asking for it. They send a request for life insurance. I'm calling them about it. I figure out they need it. My job is to sign them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta record yourself. That's the best sales training I've ever done for myself.
Interesting. Well, anyone listening who's in sales or wants to get into sales, you're getting the free playbook here from David today, which is awesome, David. So it sounds like you started your life insurance journey back in your hometown, sharing a bedroom with Kale, and then you ended up moving to Austin, Texas. So when did that move happen, and why did it happen?
Yeah, so it happened in August of 2025. So I sold life insurance from February 2025 to August of 2025 in Missouri with my roommate Kale, and we had a third roommate, Parker, who had his own business as well, but he did dent removals. So he was kind of doing his own thing on like cars. Hail would come down and dent cars, and so he had his own business. So it was me, Kale, Parker, and during that time, as soon as I learned how everything worked and I was making sales on my own, I really wanted to move to Austin, Texas, because that's where the main office, the office that I'm sitting in right now as we speak, that's where the office is. And I wanted to scale this business as fast as possible, right? And I knew, everyone knows you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around, right? Yeah. A lot of guys still hang out with a bunch of losers, it blows my mind. But I just knew that if I want to scale this business, I need to surround myself with guys who are at a level that's higher than me, that have been doing this for 2, 3, 4. Wiley's been doing it 6 years. He has a team that does $15 million a month. And I can literally show up to the same office as him for free and learn from him for free. Like, why would I not want to do that? So I was willing to sacrifice any geographical location. It blows my mind. Some people, you go back, I was talking about the why, that some people are more concerned about, I have to live next to the West Coast, bro. I have to be by the beach. I can't move. It's like, dude, well, I'm willing to move to freaking Montana if I need to. I'm willing to go anywhere. Wherever the business is at.
Yeah.
Wherever the guys that are making the money are at, that's where I'm going. I'll live anywhere. It's like, dude, you can do well, but there's going to be guys like me that do better than you because we're willing to sacrifice more. I didn't know anyone down here. I'm from Missouri, dude. I've never lived in Texas. I've never been to Austin, but I was like, that's where all the guys are. They're making the most money. I need to go surround myself with those guys. So yeah, I've been here since August, and it's going super well. I love it a lot. The guys are awesome. We have great culture. We're all making money. We're all scaling the business. It's going well.
I'm curious. Your team's doing $200,000 a month. Is that correct?
We're doing more. We did 267 in March, and then we did 280 in April. But we're about to really, really take off. I run an all virtual team. So even though I'm here in Austin, 90% of my agents a lot of them are from Missouri. I got one in California, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Florida. We're all kind of spread out. But I'm going to start building more here in person in Austin.
And I asked that because you seem someone who's constantly reflecting, analyzing, and evaluating where you're at and how you can improve. What do you think the difference is from a $280 a month life insurance agency to a $15 million a month agency?
Yeah, I would say delegate. There's a lot of reasons there. To get to 15 mil a month, the biggest thing is time. Right there. Wiley's been doing it for 6 years, so to build a 15 mil a month team, that's just going to take time. You're going to have to get the right leaders over time and recruit the right people. But I would say to do 15 mil, you need the most valuable skill to have is to duplicate yourself and to create other leaders, right? So recruiting's not, you can recruit, but honestly, man, recruiting's pretty easy too. If you just post a bunch of content, and people are naturally going to reach out to you, right? And you can bring on, I think the most talented skill to get to a 15 mil a month organization, like you're gonna have multiple there's gonna be levels to this, right? Like you're gonna have your main like 8 to 10 managers that you directly talk to, and then those guys are gonna have like other managers as well that run teams, and then those guys are gonna have, you know, other guys that sell. It's that whole pyramid that everyone loves, right? But it's let me address that too real quick, because everyone talks about that. It's like, dude, do you think, and I just always ask whatever the business they're in, whatever 9 to 5 they're working, I'm like, does your manager make more than you? Yeah. Okay. Does his manager make more than him? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Does like the CEO, do you think he makes more? Yeah. Okay, you're in a pyramid scheme, buddy. The only difference is the real scam is the one you're in. And this is what's funny, because you get paid some shit salary, right? That's the real scam, bro, is no matter how good or bad you do, you're going to get paid some measly salary that's barely going to be able to afford a life in today's time. Like, gas is freaking high. Everyone talk about the gas prices. I don't even know what they are, though, because, like, it doesn't really affect me. You know, but at least we have a business model where you have an opportunity to actually, like, you control your own pay. So no, it's not a pyramid scheme. I mean, everything's a pyramid scheme. If you want to talk about that, you know, a little side tangent there. But yeah, to answer the question, I mean, 15 mil a month, I think the best skill to have is to be able to bring people into the business and then, like, grow that human being. Like, teach them how to sell, teach them the basics, but then also challenge them and give them little small tasks to grow them to become a leader and then to duplicate themselves. So I think because when you reach a 15 mil a month team, like, you have so many leaders. And Wiley, I mean, he's the one that has a 15 mil a month. He's like the best at that.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know can you guys see me okay?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay, Wiley, I mean, there's a reason that Wiley has, there's a reason Wiley has a 15 mil a month team, is like he's so good at that. Like, delegating, giving small tasks, and then building leaders. So.
Yeah, interesting. Let's get a little deeper into that, because you started this whole journey knocking doors. You know, it was just you and someone in front of you. Then you went and you started dialing phones with your friend Kale. And now you're managing a whole bunch of people, doing a bunch of business. So I'm curious how you've kind of found that transition from just being the guy who has to make the sales to actually leading the pack, training people how to sell correctly and just stay motivated through the struggles.
That's a great question. And that's what I truly love to do, honestly. Like, I like to have more like the management role than actually just sit there and sell. Like, I've done that for so long. Like, that gets, you know, like it, but that's where success comes, in doing the boring things over and over and over and over. So, like, I'm still willing to do it and show guys and lead from the front, and I still dial to this day. But I do want to get outside of having to just sit there and dial, because I tell guys, hey, honestly, dude, if you don't want to do this, don't do it, because I don't need you. We have a bunch of guys. I'm already making 60 grand a month. Like, I don't need you on my team. Like, I'm going to be okay without you, trust me. But I'm willing to take you, because I'd love to see you go from, you're making what, 2K a month right now? Okay, I have a bunch of guys that were in your shoes that now make 10, 12. I just asked Curtis, he made 16K last month. A year ago today, he was still in college making $1,200 a month at like a barista or something, you know? And like, that's why I wake up every day, is to teach those guys how to scale their business. Because that's where I get the, like, true fulfillment from, I think, is just like building other people and showing them how to do what I've been able to do.
What's the hardest lesson you've learned about managing people?
Hardest lesson I've learned is, and I learned it the hard way, is holding them accountable whenever you see red flags. So like, you all, like, red flags, dude, like, you know that hot girl, but like, there's like a bunch of things that you're like, oh, I don't really like that, but she's hot, so like, I'm not gonna say anything, you know? And it always comes to bite you in the end. It's like, oh, I knew it from the beginning. Like, I should have just left her, or at least confronted her about it. And it's the same in business. Is like, I noticed new guys would come in, and when I was just starting to like build a team, and I was new to everything, you're kind of not desperate, but you just want people to come on, right? And you just want them to be happy, and you don't want them to leave because you're trying to build a team. And so you bring people on and you allow like certain behaviors. And I wasn't calling people out. So they'd show up late, or maybe they were a little bit negative, or maybe they just weren't selling well, and I wasn't like telling them, hey bro, stop doing that, you need to do this. And so you just allow certain behaviors that aren't going to give them success in the business, but you allow it because what did we say earlier? People are afraid of confrontation. I used to be afraid to confront someone because maybe they're not going to like me, because now I'm going to tell them something that may hurt their feelings, or maybe they don't like me because I say it. But if you really care about someone, like if I really care about my guys, then I need to say something because I'm setting them up for failure. Because I've been in this business for a while, and I know that what you're doing is going to guarantee you're going to fail out of this business. So I cannot sit by and just let you do it. So dude, honestly, I don't care if you like me. I don't. You didn't join this business to be my best friend. We can be friends through the business and we can get along and hang out, but you joined because I told you you'd make money here, and what you're doing is not going to make you money. And I'm telling you this because I care about you, bro, and I know you can make money. But right now, this has to change. You're doing a lot of things right, but this one little thing, we got to cut that out. And this is why, and it's because I want to see you do well. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. And then they respect you way more when you come at it like that too. They'll respect you way more.
Yeah, interesting. Man, that's a great approach. Props to you.
Yeah. Learn the hard way though, dude. I used to always just sit by and you just allow behaviors. And it's really tough when you know them before too. That's what's really tough, is if you had a friendship before and then they come on and oh, David, he's just my friend. I remember getting hammered with him. We used to go on vacation. He's like one of the boys, and then they don't see you. They don't respect what you say sometimes. Yeah, that was the hardest thing.
Yeah, interesting. You kind of alluded to it earlier, talking about social media and how that's helped you get more reps, but I would love for you to speak a little bit more to the benefits of showing up on social media and showing your life and your business and the direct benefits of doing that.
Dude, social media, you either use it, there's literally two reasons. There's only two routes social media goes. You use it for your business, or you get used by it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And most people have social media to get used by it. And they're consumers. And comparison is the thief of joy. So they hop on there and they scroll and they scroll and they scroll. And then they feel bad and then they turn off. Have you ever got on Instagram and scrolled for 20 minutes and felt amazing and then you turned it off? You either use it or I would not have any Instagram, Facebook, anything if I didn't post content. I just wouldn't have it. Right? Because it's not good.
Yeah.
99% of the stuff you see is just not good, but it is a weapon that can be used to promote. I think it's amazing. Social media is an incredible tool if you are looking to build a business, because you can reach tens, hundreds, millions of people, Yeah. I can just post a 30-second video that takes me 5 minutes to film it, edit it, whatever, and then it can see thousands of people. And I think for me, I used to hate posting content. I hated what people were gonna think. My family's gonna see it. My friends are gonna see it. I don't want them, to know what I'm doing. I don't want them to judge me. People are gonna say stuff. And over time, what I've realized is how selfish would I be to not share this opportunity that I have here, because it's genuinely changed so many people's lives. And I sit back and think of the guys on my team that came from social media that have changed, not just financially, but dude, maybe they were going out too much and now they're sober. Maybe oftentimes they don't like the people or the atmosphere that they were in, and now they love it over here, right? If I never posted, those guys wouldn't be here, And so for me, it's dude, I think I have the best opportunity out there, and it's changed my life and it's changed so many of my guys' life. how selfish would I be to just not share this opportunity? Like, I want everyone to know about this, and truth isn't afraid of questions. So I'll post anything, and I'll tell you anything I'll tell you how everything works. Like, I'm transparent as it comes, and so that's too good to be true. No, it's not, bro, because I work 70 hours a week, every week. Like, that's not too good. Like, that's pretty hard, and also, like, I'll just people won't even ask. I'll send them like bank deposits. I'll send them bank statements. I'm like, hey, just so you know, like, and that's not me to flex, but all those like online gurus and like sell this course and this, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, hey, I just want you to be transparent so like we actually do make money here. So I'm just gonna send you some actual bank statements and then explain like how the business works and how we get paid. And if you go at it like that, they're all like, yeah, oh, awesome, thank you. Thanks for being transparent. But if you just go at it or you just send it, then it can come off like, oh, this guy's trying to flex, so that's what I found works well.
You said you're being very transparent on social media. I'm curious, from the reps you've recruited through social media, are their expectations typically higher because they kind of see that lifestyle? Like, you've posted a couple of videos of you with your Corvette, you send them bank statements. Do they come with that higher expectation to make $20K a month right away, or?
No. We definitely, through the process, I think everyone understands, and I tell them all, hey, dude, I was in your shoes 15 months ago, and now all the new guys, I'm like, hey, I know exactly what's going through your head right now. Like, it's kind of overwhelming. There's a lot to learn. You got to get licensed. You got to learn how to sell, call people, read the script. Like, trust me, I've been there. And you need to slow down and just take it one step at a time. Like, I did not get to this point overnight. Like, dude, it's what did we say earlier? It's doing the boring things over and over and over and over and over and getting a little bit better every single day. Like, this is a business. You can grow it. Like, dude, it's like a little seed, man. Like, you're a little seed right now, and you're deep into the ground, and you've got to water it. You've got to water it every day. The business is a baby, right? You got to feed it. You got to put in the time. You got to invest into it. I put money into the business. A lot of it goes into the business to keep it growing. But I really temper expectations at the beginning, and I'm like, hey, dude, there's a lot to learn, I'm a year in, and now I make $60K a month. Like, honestly, that first year, you may not be super, super profitable. You can, depending on how quickly you start selling, how quickly you get it together. But a lot of guys, they're making decent money, but a lot of it goes back into the business to keep it growing.
Right.
But I definitely just set proper expectations,
Yeah, interesting. Well, David, you've given tons of value. It's been great to get into your story today. We're approaching our time, and I've got 2 questions left. This one, if you look towards the end of 2026 and you look back on the entire year and you say, this year was a huge success because I did something, what would that one thing be for you?
I'm so glad you asked that. And we were talking about this the other day. Is people always put like a result. Like, so what you just said, like, yeah. Most people would go, oh, I want to make X amount of money. I want my team to do this. And they chase the result. But to answer the question, for me, I just want to do, like, the result's going to be the result. Like, we could recruit some guys that do incredible. We did just recruit a guy that has a massive team. So, like, I don't know how much money we'll make, but honestly, that's not why I get up every day. Like, I want to be known as the guy that if I died at the end of this year, that they're going to be like, well, dude, he just showed up every single day. Like, he worked his ass off. He never lied. He helped me build my business. Like, that's what my goal is. At the end of this year is I'm just going to wake up every day. I don't even look at the bank account. I mean, the money comes, but that's a byproduct. I just wake up every day and I show up for my guys, and the results are the results. I know it's going to come. It's already coming, Yeah. And it's going to keep on going up. But my goal is just to make sure that all these guys behind me, like, they scale their business and I can teach them and pour into them, really.
Yeah. Man, that is the best possible answer. And I think when people hear that question, but when, if you're being asked it, a lot of people say, I want to make $1 million, and people listening to the podcast, we're probably hoping for you to throw out some crazy number. But I think that's the biggest takeaway. It's something we had on our last episode, and something me and Colton both reflect on constantly every single week, is just focusing on the input, not the result. And if you focus on the input, you will get the result. And that's amazing that's how you answer that question, David. Props to you. But like I said, we're hitting our time. We've got one final question we ask every single guest. It's simple but powerful, and it is, if you could leave one thing with our audience today, whether it's advice or whatever, what would that be?
Do the hard thing, not what you feel like doing. I would say, dude, if you feel like right now life's hard, or like dude, I don't want to do that, dude, you should probably do that. Like, the result that you want is in the work that you're avoiding. The result that you want, that you're chasing, it's all in the work that you're avoiding. Like, dude, if it's hard, good. It's like any struggle or hard times or anything in my life that I've gotten past and now I look back on, I'm so grateful for it. So just accept it. It's God's plan for you. Do the best you can and wake up every day and work as hard as you can, man. That's my advice.
Boom. That's amazing advice.
Yeah, that's awesome, David. Thank you very much for taking the time to come on today. It was great to connect with you, great to get into your story. Anyone who's still listening, to connect with David, his Instagram is going to be in the description below. Make sure you subscribe to the Real Leverage podcast as well. And thank you all very much for listening today.